And welcome to round 6 of the PSF1 F3 Championship. We're in Melbourne, Australia this weekend, and we're once again joined by our former F2 champion and current F1 driver, Dougie. Hello, Dougie.
Hello, we're in Australia. Halfway through the season, people are getting promoted obviously for the next race. Should be an interesting aspect there. It looks like it's going to be between Ollie and Francis for the last promotion spots. So, not Ollie and Francis, Francis and KLC for the last promotion spots, and it should be pretty close between those two in the race. So,
yeah, of course. We've got 5 promotion spots up for grabs. So we're currently in the promotion spots. We've got Ollie, who is guaranteed a place in F2 after this tonight's race. Then in second place on 60 points we have Jakey, who is not here tonight, but he will go up as long as Francis Jessica doesn't win and everyone above Francis Jessica gets results behind him. He's just went second there with 23.8. It's not the quickest of laps, but yeah. Currently third is Skeeven on 50 points. Joint with him on 50 points is KB Killerzone, and fifth is KLC in the last promotion spot. 2 points ahead of Francis Jessica and only 5 points ahead of Bendel, who can still go up to F2 after this race. So just looking at the drivers and their times at the moment, we're not particularly seeing very quick times. I mean, it's low 22s. Would you expect a little bit quicker maybe? We've seen a 21.5 there from Skeeven, so definitely pace to find.
Definitely, 21.5 is decent times actually, but thinking about it, but then Skeeven's a quick driver. I think he might go quicker. Maybe KB could find some pace. Ollie as well, be up there as well, see what he can do. And yeah, obviously KLC needs to have a strong qualifying position just to do his promotion chances alive.
Yeah, of course. So we've got, theoretically speaking, we've got, I would say, so we've got 6 battling for promotion spots. That's a very interesting line from Bendel there through turn 6. So we've got 6 fighting for those promotion spots. Raikkonen is an outside contender, but would need 3rd or better, and would need Francis Jessica and Bendel to DNF if that was the case, if he got a podium. So it's an outside chance for Raikkonen, not really a chance there. Fear and Keegan also have chances, but they would have to win, which is highly unlikely. Considering, as you can see on the timesheet at the moment, Keegan down in 11th with a 1:25.2 and Fear yet to set a time. As we've just seen Zonda plough into the wall, coming out of the far chicane, and this is going to be a talking point, I feel, tonight, is the amount of rear end twitches and instability with the drivers' cars, and how much do you think that could affect the result of the race here?
Could affect it. Another thing that could affect it is actual time penalties as well. We've seen this track is quite harsh in the time penalties as well, and people try and push the S's, for example, case in point, Zonda, and try and cut it, and then they just lose the back end and then slide off. It's a lack of grip as well on this track as well, so it's a bit of a pain on this track at times, and case in point, Zonda. Plus.
One of the Haas's currently in front of Francis Jessica. I hope this isn't impeding his lap. He's not on a quick one, that's for sure, so he'll be thankful about that. He's actually coming into the pits, so there we go. So they're all coming back into the pits now.
Cut to Lux on the grass and spun out, but don't know what happened there.
Fear has actually done 24.8, so he's moved up to P12, so that's a decent place at the moment. Miles is on his outlap. So we'll just wait to see where these guys come out for the second lap. We've got Proto Steph, I believe debut. I'm pretty sure it wasn't last weekend. But yeah, so Prototype Steph on his lap now. He's currently P11. He comes through the first sector. He's just over a 10th down. So he needs to find another couple of tenths to get into the top 10. Zonda currently in P10. He's a sitting duck now. 1:23.8 is the time to beat for a top 10 position.
And maybe did that, and maybe trying to go outside top 10, try and get fresh tyres perhaps. But then track position is sort of strong here. There's not many overtaking opportunities that you could be able to take on this track either.
No, due to the high downforce nature of the cars, it's very difficult to overtake. There are a number of overtaking opportunities, but you have to be so close to the car in front that it's almost impossible. We've seen overtakes happen where we've just seen Protosteph going through now, which is turn 15. You get a couple of moves in there. You don't really get a lot of moves throughout the rest of the track because it's just such high speed now. So unfortunately we may not see a lot of side-by-side action, but I'm sure these guys will find a way to provide some entertainment anyways, as they often and always always do for us. So looking forward to the race, that's for sure. But one man that we'll be watching on nervously will be Jakey Boy, because he is not here today, and if Francis Jessica wins and results go against the Toro Rosso driver, then he will see himself in F3 for the second half of the season as well as the first half. So it's not been the best for him first half of the season, considering he had a disconnect in Singapore, couldn't get back into the car, and then ended up finishing well down the order. So that didn't help him there.
Yeah, but then he has shown form in Belgium as well. Like, he could have won that ultimately, ended up running away again. There's signs of Jakey actually had pace, but then there's signs of him doing inconsistencies, and then obviously inconsistencies with his internet. So it's 50-50 for him. Like, he's sometimes good, and then sometimes there's issues along the way, but he has to rectify that himself. And obviously, if he can keep a constant pace what he has, then he'll be into F2 easily, as he can be right now. So.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Because he was fighting KB, who has 2 poles and 2 wins in 2 races. He's actually second now, but he was definitely in contention for a race win at Spa. And whatever happened between them two is between them two. We didn't actually catch it on stream, unfortunately. But you know, it's all about, like you say, having that consistency and making sure that you don't put yourself in a position where you're vulnerable to, you know, dropping out of promotion sport like he is at the moment, although it is highly unlikely, having said that.
I mean, the only way he can actually get dropped out officially is if Francis wins and KLC gets second. And it's the only way he could actually get officially dropped out, that being said. But and anything can happen. It could happen. Francis Jessica isn't slow, and Laurie is KLC, so who knows? As we get to the last 1 minute and a half of qualifying.
Toro Rosso on the grass there for Timsha. They will come out now for their final runs now. We've got Ollie on an out lap, we've got Skeven on an out lap. Miles has retired without setting a lap. That's unfortunate. KB currently on a lap as he's coming through the first sector. He's getting a little bit sideways out of turn 4 through turn 5 flat, as you see there. We're going to ride on board now with the Haas. Down to 4th gear through turn 6, a little bit wide maybe. Hugging the apex through turn 8, now into turn 9. 90-degree right-hander down to 3rd gear, a lot of inside curb. Gonna have to get past the traffic of Ollie. What's the second sector split? He's 3.5 tenths up, so he's just outside pole at the moment. It's very clean through the fast chicane. KLC is retired, so whether he's actually put in the wall or he's invalidated, not quite sure. It's a good lap low from KB. He's got to find another tenth or so in this last sector. He's pushing the track limits as far as he dares. So as he comes onto the start finish straight now, comes across the line, it's going to be a 1:21.3. He does go provisional pole. Skeven has retired as well. Skeven has put it in the wall, and that's going to be out of turn 2. So that's a very interesting place to lose it. Ollie's the only person that can snatch it now. He's coming across the line to start his flying lap. KLC out of the running. Francis Jessica onto a flying lap as well. It's all heating up here in qualifying. We've got Keegan down in 16th place, Veer in 13th as well. All on laps at the moment.
All eyes are on really Ollie and Francis. See if they can be able to knock KB off that pole position. Moment so far looking good for Ollie.
Veer has gone P9. That's a good lap from the Mercedes driver. He's 2 places behind his teammate currently. Raikkonen is in the pits, so Veer is confirmed P10 or higher because Keegan has gone 13th. Lux looks very slow as well, so I think Veer might get away with 9th place. That's a good qualifying from him. Timsha comes around the final corner. Can he improve? It's going to be a 1:22.1. So he goes P3. That's a great lap from him. And a stunning lap from Timsha, really. Ollie 4.5 tenths plus up on his middle sector time. So he is flying right now. He's got provisional third at this rate. How much more can he find? We've got Francis Jessica and Not So Happy Cow as well to finish their laps. Francis Jessica coming over the line now. It's going to be a 1:22.1, so he goes fourth just behind Timsha, as you can see there, just a slight gap. Ollie goes third as well, so pushes Timsha down to fourth. We're just waiting for Not So Happy Cow, who's in the pits, and there we go, that is qualifying over and done with. So a little bit of drama there actually towards the end. We had KB on pole. It's 3 out of 3 for him. He is amazing at the moment. Fantastic qualifying pace.
3 out of 3 pole positions, incredible. 2 tenths faster than Skeven in that fast lap as well.
Yep.
Did really well.
But I do wonder though, if Skeven had kept it out the wall, would he have improved? Would he have got to pole? But we will never find out now because he is out of qualifying, who will of course start P2 in the race. So there we go, our final classification for qualifying. KB on pole with a 1:21.3, a fairly quick lap, followed by Skeven just under 2 tenths off a 1:21.5. Ollie Flavel in the Williams at 1:21.8. Timsha a great lap in fourth, a 1:22.1, the quickest of those 1:22 runners. Then we've got Francis Jessica and KLC on row 3. Row 4 is Show George and Not So Happy Cow. Row 5 is Disabled Fear and Raikkonen, good qualifying for those two. Zonda 11th, Prototype Steph 12th, 13th Keegan, 14th Lux, 15th Bendel, 16th Tezza, and at the back, unable to set a lap, is Miles. So some work to be done for him as he's so used to qualifying higher up now. Hopefully these guys will adhere to the 2-minute rule, and then we will get on our way into the race. So, strategy-wise, we haven't really talked a lot of strategy so far, but it is possible that the two-stop can come out on top here. But what's your opinion on it? And we've actually got Skeven, who's going to get a 10-second time penalty for that.
Strategy-wise, it looks bang on one stop, doesn't it? Because like you can easily just do 7 laps and then go straight to softs. But people might feel that they can go quicker on the super softs, do a two-stop and try and push. Or if they can't make the softs last, they can just go 10 laps at the end and go on ultras. So you're looking at like an ultra super ultra or ultra soft ultra. Yeah. It depends on their pace.
Yeah, it depends on tyre wear as well. Unfortunately for Skeven, I don't think he's going to win this race because of the time penalty that he's got. But it's just another chance to take a look on what tyres everyone's starting on. So we've got obviously the top 10 all starting on ultra softs. Then we've got Zonda, who's opted for the soft tyre, just scraped into P11. He's going to go on the softs. Prototype Steph in 12th place has gone for the super soft tyres. Himself and Miles are the only super soft runners at the beginning of the race. So everyone else outside the top 10 running softs, apart from Prototype Steph and Miles. So Lux 14th, Bendel down in 15th. We saw him in Baku have a great race, and 15th place just doesn't seem right for him at the moment. So do you think that's maybe just he's invalidated, or he's just not really, you know, with the track as if you were?
It could be a combination of everything. Like maybe he doesn't have the right setup. Maybe it's just his confidence in the track. It could be anything. Like we didn't actually see him much in qualifying, to be honest. So it could have been like you only had 1 lap and then the second lap got invalidated. So he could go up the field. He's pretty much shown he's quicker than that. So if he can get a decent start, he could probably get up in top 10 and maybe push those positions.
Yeah, definitely. KB is not hanging around here on the formation lap. So just going to quickly make that like that. And all the cars coming into the last sector now. Or it should all be in the last sector anyway. Miles coming up the rear, and the McLaren following his teammate around. And then we'll make sure that all of these guys get away without a scratch, hopefully. But first turn at Australia can be chaotic because obviously it's a little bit of a drag race. Obviously a good start will benefit you here, but it's not a heavy braking zone, so there can be a lot of cars trying to outbrake everyone else because it is almost a battle of the bravest into this first corner. It's a tricky one, really.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's like the first of the late breakers, and obviously in the second corner. Should be interesting.
So we're just waiting for the cars to get into their grid position. There we go. And we have 5 red lights here in Australia, and they're out. And it looks like a good start for one of the Mercedes slightly further back, but it's KB that leads them away. We've got a Timsher looking up the inside. We've got a Williams around the outside as well, but they all filtered through turn 1 pretty nicely, actually. No major drama as of yet, as they all come out of turn 2, all clean and tidy for now. So we jump back on board with the lead. We've got to move slightly further back. That's Timsher going for a move on one of the Haas cars, and one of the Williams is round. And that is Francis Jessica, who needs a big result here today. Has already lost it. Timsher's back up to 4th. Disabled Fizz up to 5th place already. Wow, what a start from him.
That's Cal.
Not so happy. Cal's gone as well, so this is really not working out for him. So Fear already up to P5. What a result this would be. Of course, he can't actually get promoted unless he wins, so unfortunately for him, that's out of the question. Zonda also up to 8th place. A good start on those soft tyres. Proto Steph up into 9th. Showjaw's down from 7th to 10th place. Not the best start from him in the Sauber. As we ride on board now, he's behind the Red Bull of Proto Steph.
As KLC goes around the inside. Oh,
Ollie's gone. So Ollie, our championship leader, has lost it coming out of the fast chicane. And that is him promoted, but out of the race. Francis Jessica promoted into 15th. Now he's got a long way to go, though. Skeven and KB. Timsher up into a podium scoring position. So he's on form at the moment.
On the inside of Proto. And Showjaw tries to go on the inside, around the outside of him as well.
And Timsher yet to score points this season as well, so a podium would do him a world of good. So we've got a 3-way battle now. Showjaw's back up to where he started already. And a couple of moves being looked at. Time penalties will be a big thing, I would imagine. We'll see a couple of prompts popping up in the next couple of corners. We've got Zonda into the pits with Not So Happy Cat. I wonder why Zonda pitted, actually. I didn't see him. Oh, we've got a Red Bull with his wing off, and that is Proto Steph. And it's a front left end plate which has gone, and that is one of the... There's both of the Renaults through, Lux and Keegan. They'll be fighting each other now, and we know what Keegan's like with a battle. He's just backing off from his teammate for a little bit, but I can assure you these two won't be giving a place up to each other anytime soon. Keegan staying behind his teammate for the moment, though, just clips the inside curve maybe a little bit too much. Keegan is clearly the faster of the drivers, and was that a little manoeuvre there from Lux to let him through? Or has it just had a little twitch? Yep, so Keegan up into 8th place then. He's been let through by his teammate by the looks of things. Bendel up into 10th place. A good solid start from him. Raikkonen and Fear have followed each other through. They're in 5th and 6th respectively. KLC up into 4th place. He's just about got enough points at the moment to go up.
Francesca spun again. Tried to go to a move inside Bendel and lost it.
It's just not going well for him, is it? The Williams goes round and spins himself back into the race, but he's a long way behind. He's got half a front wing. He's going to have to do a 2-stop now as we see Showjaw's into the pits. So he's lost a bit of his front right of his wing. He will be coming into the pits. Let's see what tyres he goes on to, actually. He's going on to the Red Wall Super Soft tyre, so that's an interesting strategy. Maybe he'll go Super Softs and Softs, or Super Softs. That is an option depending on what their tyre strategies they chose, whether it's harder, softer or balanced. France Jessica back in the pits as well. Zonda's going to come round to get both of these guys. Not So Happy Cow. It's just not been a good last few races for him. He's down in 16th. He's a long way behind.
Been relatively unlucky in the last couple of races. Ever since that spin in Belgium, he's kind of like lost confidence almost since then, and he just needs to find that form what he did in Belgium, and I think he'll be alright.
Oh, Tim's just had a moment coming out the fast chicane. Sorry to interrupt you. KLC was all over the back of him, and Tim's just going to concede the position. My goodness, that was close to putting it in the wall. I thought he was going to lose it there, but he's managed to recover it nicely.
Yep.
And it's
KLC
all about
goes around the outside.
Yep. It was, I think he was already in front at the corner entry, so he was Timsher was just backing out a little bit. As you can see, a little bit of a slide coming out the last corner. These guys twitching all over the place. Skeven's dropped out that second window of KB, so it looks like KB's going to run home with another race victory and get himself a promotion spot into F2. But we're only 4 laps in. There's still 26 to go. And Hot Zonda has retired from the session, so I wonder if that's where I think it is.
Same place.
And it is That's a very interesting. Where is he? Oh, sorry, it is coming out the fast chicane. So yeah, he's just lost it a little bit further down, coming up to hill. Still Kink coming down to turn 13. Not so happy Cal leapfrogs Francis Jessica into 14th place. So we'll keep an eye on him.
We've got two mini battles going on for 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th. I reckon I'm catching Fear now.
Yeah, Fear's holding his own though at the moment. He seems to have a decent amount of pace. He's only 8 seconds off the leaders. That's not too bad at this stage. He's consistently dropping back, but he's not dropping back as much as we've seen him drop back in previous races. As Raikkonen eyes up a move down to turn 13. He's not going to go for it just yet. A little bit wide through 14 is the Mercedes, but still in front for now. And then of course you've got Keegan and Lux behind them on the soft tyres, Bendel as well. So those guys doing a good job. Keegan has got a massive gap to Lux already. He's already got a 2.5 second gap nearly. Bendel's all over the back of the Renault.
Yeah, and Miles is losing the back end.
Miles has had a great start from P17 on the grid, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Just his tyres are starting to let go of him a bit. He's been sliding everywhere, but seems to keep it in check.
Oh, Bendel loses it! Bendel is off! And he's lost his front right end plate. And he's going to have to pit surely. Oh, such a shame. He was doing so well. And he just lost it coming through turn 1. Not sure there was contact between himself and Lux. But that promotes Miles into 9th place. Oh, Lux has hit the wall! Lux has hit the wall coming out of turn 4. As we just switched to him, he just clipped the wall on the left-hand side. And he is going to be struggling now, as you can see there. Wide through the apex at turn 6. Miles is all over the back of him. Here comes the McLaren. He's going to dive down the inside into turn 9. No, he's going to hold position for now. He's gone for a late move and he spun the... No, he hasn't spun the Renault. Lux has managed to keep it somehow. And now Proto Steph has caught back up to these guys. Miles trying to make a move around the outside. Surely not there. Proto trying to go up the inside, but it's not going to happen. And Miles actually swept round the outside of the Renault. Lux struggling now for pace. Bendel behind catching back up as well.
It's a very tense battle between Miles, Lux and Bendel.
Oh, that's one of the Red Bulls! So nearly Proto Steph into the wall. Both the Red Bulls having moments as we see Tezza in the background catching these guys. So it's all happening back here, whereas Keegan has just flown up the road. He's got 5.5 seconds now as we see Lux into the pit lane. And it'll be interesting to see what tyres he puts on now, because obviously that was his only set of softs, unless he's gone with a harder strategy. He'll still have to pit again if he puts those softs on. So, 6 laps in now. We've got Keegan, the first of the soft runners, up into P7, so he's doing himself a good job there. We've got Miles behind, who started last, is now up into 8th place. And we've also got, who else had a good start? Fear and Raikkonen both up 4 places into 5th and 6th respectively. Skeven gets a 3-second time penalty. That took a little bit longer than I was expecting, I have to say. But there we go, that's the first of the 3-second time penalties. Skeven currently just out of DRS range. And it's all calmed down for a little bit. Everyone's sort of got themselves a bit of a cushion for now. As we see Showjaw's getting very happy over the curbs. But Francis Jessica and Not So Happy Cow the closest at the moment. So wait for everyone to bunch back up again.
It's like...
Francis Jessica goes for the move on Not So Happy Cow, and that was an audacious move up the inside of turn 6. Oh no, where's he lost that? And he's out of the fast chicane once again. That has claimed 3 victims already today, just in the race, let alone qualifying. And Miles was doing himself so well, and he's just, it looks like the wheels just popped off actually. There's no proper front wing damage by the looks of it.
Yeah,
so
it looks like he hit it on the left hand side.
It's an interesting one, yeah, definitely. So he is now promoted Francis Jessica into 12th position. So, going on to the promotion spots, we'll just have a little quick look at those.
As Timsha just hit the wall and is coming from the inside of turn 6.
Oh wow, how is it? He's facing the wrong way.
He lost it coming against the exit of turn 6 and just...
And it was all going so well. Veer is now 2.5, just over 2 seconds off a podium now. Excuse me. So that doesn't really change anything in terms of promotion. We've got Bendel with half a front wing struggling around. Tezza into 9th place. This will promote Francis Jessica into 11th. But meanwhile, the standings look like KB currently on 75 points. He's 3 points behind Skeven, who will be on 78. But of course, he's got a time penalty to be applied at the end of the race. That currently keeps him, actually just puts him behind KLC, so he'll be 3rd. So both be on 75, himself and KB. Fear is actually catching KLC at this point in the race, can I just say. He's just gained 6/10. KLC into the pits. Fear is now into a podium position.
It's now a battle between Raikkonen and Fear.
Wow, we never thought we'd see this.
Never thought
Fear's doing
that
brilliantly at this stage. He was in time trial just before the race. And that setup seems to be doing him wonders at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing really well as KLC goes on super stops. So
he's definitely two-stopping then.
2 stops.
Especially this early on with the pit stop. A little bit wide on Apex, but he's going around nicely. And Lux picks up the 3-second time penalty, currently last. We've already lost 4 in the first 8 laps.
Yeah, three of them in one corner, effectively.
Wow, Proto Steph has lost another piece of his front wing. It is not going well at the moment for Prototype Steph. He has lost, he's already pitted as well, I believe. No, he hasn't, he started on the super soft, so he's still struggling with that front wing, obviously. KLC out in 6th place. He's got clean air now. He's got to pass Keegan, who is, oh, I say that, Keegan has half a front wing and very nearly lost it there, so imagine he'll be into the pits fairly soon, or he's going to be caught rapidly.
That's the leader pits. KB is in the pits.
Oh, yep, Skeven doesn't pit. Fear also into the pits. So he's a little bit slow on pit entry. That's going to cost him time. Keegan's going to be promoted into final podium position unless KB gets out in front of him, which he is. Fear also going for the 2-stop strategy. Interesting there. We'll just double check that. Yep, Fear confirmed onto the super soft tyres. So a lot of guys going for the 2-stop, it looks like here, apart from KB, who has gone onto these soft tyres.
Yeah, looks like they're not happy with the state of their tyre life, and they're just going for the 2-stop just to be safe.
I think Fear
be faster at the end.
Fear is in P7, so he's out in front of Bendel, Showjord and Tezza. We're all fighting for that 8th place. I say Tezza's a little bit further behind. Bendel and Showjord's then. Showjord has the front wing, he has the fresher tyres, he goes up the inside into turn 3, makes the move stick, and as easy as that, he is up into P8 now. And I'm seeing a little bit of pace, and as I say that, he almost clips the ball coming out of turn 4. It's not the easiest of corners, but not often you see people hitting the wall though. We've already seen it once today with Lux. But hopefully for these guys, they keep it out of the wall. So looking at the gap from leader, Raikkonen is almost a pit stop behind Skeven. KV is 20.1 behind Skeven, but he's catching him. We've got Fear, who is 11 seconds behind Keegan, so he would definitely jump. Of course, Keegan has a damage problem as well. Skeven's still out, so he's definitely one-stopping. Yep, Raikkonen. Let's see if Fear jumps him. He's got Prototype Steph just in front. Fear flying at the moment. Raikkonen, of course, was battling with Fear. He's going for the 1-stop strategy. He's onto the soft tyres. He comes out of his pit box and rejoins the track. Where is he going to come out? Fear is coming down the pit straight now. There is the Sauber of Raikkonen. Is he going to get down the outside? I think he's just going to make it. No, Raikkonen holds the inside. Fear around the outside. They touch. And I think the Mercedes has got through. Yes, Fear is into 6th place. Aggressive driving there, but fair nonetheless.
Yeah, Aaron, to the nail stuff there. That was really close. Almost put Raikkonen into the barriers and almost cost him the race, but
Prototype
everything
Steph
is Proto.
Very wide, and he's all over the place, and he's going to lose the position here to the Mercedes driver, who's already overtaken a Sauber.
His front wing is hurting him in terms of times he might need to pit.
He's actually going to do Fear a favour here, because obviously he's holding up the Sauber now, and Fear's going to be given a little bit of a cushion. As Raikkonen sits behind the Red Bull, he's going to be losing time. Fear on those fresh tyres, fresh air is the last thing he needs from Raikkonen's point of view. Flying at the moment is the Mercedes driver, as Skeven is into the pits. He's got a 17-second gap to KB, as he's out of the pit lane, out of the pit box, sorry. KB comes down the start-finish straight. Where is the Ferrari? Still in the pit lane, and it's going to be home and hose for KB at this point. Skeevan has a 10-second time penalty, and he's another 4 or 5 seconds behind by the time he actually gets through turn 1. So, the interesting thing is now, can those two stoppers catch up? We've got Keegan just behind KLC as well now, actually. So that's not quite sure what's happened there. I think maybe he's just got past him, because Keegan was in that final podium position. Showjord's up into P8 at the moment. Francis Jessica still just outside the points. Needs points to go up. Currently KLC on 57 points with a 3rd place finish. So Francis Jessica will be staying in F3 with his current points haul, which is 0. So we see KB, Skeevan, Ollie and Jakey, with KLC the last of those guys to go up.
Does look it that way at the moment, but still time to left, 18 laps to go, as Prototype is battling with Showdoors.
Oh,
that was pretty close.
He's actually lost the position. He's actually losing a lot of time. He's just been done by Raikkonen. And if we actually look at the gap, Prototype Steph was with Fear at the beginning of last lap. He's already lost 5 seconds and the rest. So he's definitely slow with this front wing. I don't know why I didn't get it changed. But he could pit now, get it changed and go to the end. So whether he does that or not, we'll find out. Nope, he continues on his way. Very slow at the moment though. Lux picks up a 3-second time penalty. We haven't seen many at the moment, but we're only 12 laps in. There's all the time in the world to make those mistakes. KLC just gaining a little bit on Skeevan now on those fresher tyres.
Yeah, the only way Francis Jessica now can be able to get promoted is if KLC now retires. So it's pretty much luck now between here and the next 17 laps. Not many battles going on right now, as Showjord hits the wall and misses half his front wing and is now off the ground, and now Prototype's gone back up to 7.
So I presume Showjord will continue, but just looking at the standings at the moment, Francis Jessica is only 2 points behind KLC, so if he can finish in front of KLC, he will get promoted, presuming it's not 9th and 10th. That's the only way he can't go up, is if he finishes 9th and KLC finishes 10th.
But it looks like he could get up to like a respective P6, P7. Looking at the pace, although he's making a move for Bendel.
Yep, he's actually, I didn't realise he was in 10th place actually, but there he is, up the inside of the Red Bull, who gives him plenty of space, and he's now onto the back of Showjord's, and he's got good pace at the moment.
Showjord made a mistake earlier, as I said, broke his front wing, and then as he pits now.
Yep, so that promotes Francis Jessica into P8. You said P7, and he's going to be P7 by the time he crosses the line, because Proto Steph is also into the pits. So Francis Jessica, although he's not getting promoted as it stands, because of Ollie leading by such a distance, he has a little bit of a twitch coming through turn 1, but he will not get promoted at the moment. He needs KLC, who is going to pit again, but of course Francis Jessica, I don't think he's going to be able to nurse these tyres till the end of the race. He's already done almost half race distance on these tyres. Beginning to fall away, I would expect. It is doable. I'm not going to put it out the question, because the soft tyres do have a long tyre life, and they are very, very durable around here. A very good tyre, that's for sure. So we'll see what he does. I would expect him to make a pit stop though towards the end of the race, but we'll see what he does. Of course, he's running around P7 at the moment.
P6, P5, Fear, and Raikkonen caught up to Fear quite a bit on the slower tyre as well, so, I think so.
Raikkonen having not shown the pace in qualifying, showing it a bit more here in the race, whether that's a step up or just his mindset. Some drivers do prefer the race to qualifying. He comes very, very shallow line out of the last corner. Across the line, the gap is just over half a second. DRS in action. As we see, Not So Happy Cow getting past Tezza on the And I think, yep, that's an easy job for the Mercedes. He's going to catch up with his teammate as quick as he can, I would imagine. So yet to stop, we have Keegan, Bendel and Tezza, who all started on the soft tyres. We haven't had a retirement since lap 8, so that's good to see. Everyone finding their rhythm now.
Yeah, if Francis Jessica can get these tyres to the end, which I think he needs to do 26 laps.
Proto just got past Lux Mark, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, 26 laps on those tyres. If he can be able to do that, he could get P5 because Fia and Keegan, as you say, need to pit. Maybe KLC as well, because he's on the Superstars as well. So
yep,
it'd be interesting. Interesting to keep it up.
Oh, Lux again nearly losing it through there. Lux just doesn't look comfortable around here at the moment. Show George on fresher tyres begins to reel him in. But yeah, absolutely, because of course all of those guys who haven't put the softs on, which as you can see there is KLC, Fear, and to be honest, everyone seems to be going for the one stop. But of course it just depends when they pitted, which in the case of Francis and Not So Happy Cow, they've got to pit again because of how early they did pit. So unfortunately for them it may not be as easy as they think. Showjaws trying to make a move on Lux Mark, coming down into turn 13. Trying to go around the outside, Lux holding the inside though. Has a look up the inside of 14, closely follows the Renault. Going to have a look into 15, no, not quite. Lux wide on Apex though, and he's going to get a less effective run out of the last corner, and he's all over the place as Showjaws is all over the back of him. Lux has gone to the inside to defend, giving the Sauber more than enough room. Oh, and very nearly losing the back end, but Showjaws is through. And Lux again struggling for pace, it looks like. Prototype Steph has made his second pit stop. No, he hasn't. He's made his first pit stop. He's on to Ultras.
Has so Fear and Keegan. No, Fear and Keegan. That
yeah,
really
so Keegan's just lost that front wing, and it's just really not proving very well for him at the moment. He's losing a lot of time.
I wonder what happened there. He was only like 3 seconds off the road and then dropped back a lot of time.
I would imagine it'd be that front wing, because it is costing him a lot of time.
Now set up a move for Raikkonen to try and probably aim for turn 3. We'll see. Fear has a good exit.
So help the second though, being in their DRS, just giving it a little bit of extra time. Currently doing wonders in P2. He should have, sorry, P2, P4. He should have gone for the one-stop strategy perhaps. Would have helped him more. Could have gone to the end, but he's got to pit again. And at the moment, about 20 seconds. That's going to put him down all the way down in P8, P7 roughly. So he's not chosen the best of strategies, unfortunately for him. But
at the same time, he does have people who are asking to pit, like Keegan. And maybe Francis Jessica.
Yep. So we see those guys. And KLC went on to the Super Softs as well. So he's going to have to pit again. Skeven beginning to just whittle that gap down. It's now 3 seconds. It was at 5 seconds at the end of the first stint. So it's getting a little bit closer.
We haven't really spoken about these two. They've just been running their own race.
Yep.
As they should. Just been in sync, effectively. A couple tenths faster here and there from either person. So
Keegan into the pits. So let's see what tyre strategy he decides to go for. Francis Jessica coming out penultimate corner now. And he's going onto a set of the Red Bull Super Soft tyres, so he can make it to the end on these tyres. No front wing change. Or did he get a front wing change actually? I'm not sure. He
didn't get a front wing change.
So that is surely a massive mistake there. He's going to be losing so much time. He's going to be kicking himself with that. And here comes Not So Happy Cow. He's going to be much quicker. Bendel and Tezza both into the pits. Bendel getting a new front wing. Tezza, I'm assuming, will get the same. Yep, there we are. Prototype Steph into 9th place. Showjaws into 10th place. Keegan back out in 7th. see Raikkonen and Fear again right behind one another. Is Raikkonen going to think of a move? Down to turn 13. Moves to the inside. Fear on the brakes. As late as he dares. Keeps the car in front of his main competitor here today.
Yeah. So, Raikkonen starting to enjoy a fresher set of softs as those super softs are starting to die out now.
Yeah, we'll expect him in the next 5 laps, I would expect. A very quiet race at the moment. We've not really got anyone apart from these two going for position.
Oh, as Shoujo almost hits the wall and hits the wall again. Spinning out. I mean, the exit of the turn, the chicane.
Oh yeah, so that's another. How far did he roll? He must have rolled quite a way. He's in AI mode at the moment, and he has retired. So Bendel into a point scoring position. It won't be enough, unfortunately, but he's in the points now. Not so happy cow into the pits. That's a call that he has to make, and he's on to super sauce till the end now. Fresh air. There are the leaders behind him, so he's got to get a move on. He's got a long way to go before he catches anyone.
2.6 is the gap between these two, as Given gets another penalty.
He is catching KB, but as you say, he's got numerous number of time penalties, not to mention the 10 seconds for skipping the 2-minute rule at the beginning. So although he may finish in front of KB on track, as KLC comes in for his second pit stop, he's on to another set of super softs.
Will he come out ahead of Fear?
No, he doesn't. As Raikkonen goes for a move into turn 1, up the inside with the DRS in action. That's surely an indication now for Fear to pit, surely.
P3
Unless
for
he can
Raikkonen.
somehow get back past. Sorry, what were you saying about Raikkonen there?
P3 for him. So basically, his battle is now keeping KLC behind.
Yeah, of course, because KLC on
next
fresh
time.
rubber and only 2.5 seconds behind. Raikkonen can now begin to stretch those soft tyres a little bit, because obviously he was stuck behind Fear for a while. And KLC looks good at the moment. Currently, Francis Jessica in P6 has to make another pit stop if he wants to ensure point scoring. But he may go to the end. It's still not enough though. He's currently 13 seconds behind his closest rival in the championship standings. But currently Francis Jessica will be on 40 and then 6th place, which is 8 points. So he'll be on to 48. KLC will get 10 points for finishing 5th, so we'll move on to 52.
Jessica's in the inside of Fear. Fear needs to pit. He's losing now time. So Raikkonen, he's already pulled.
Time, isn't he? Yep.
He's already pulled 2 seconds on Raikkonen, effectively. So.
Yeah, KLC has caught Raikkonen in that lap as well. He is flying in that Haas at the moment. Both the Haas drivers too go up then. They're just going to drop back now, unfortunately. Skeevan is back to 1.5 seconds is the gap, so he's closing back in even more. Tesla gets a 3-second time penalty. Not sure how much that's going to affect him.
We've been catching him slowly but surely. Maybe he's just looking at tyres and fuel.
Yeah, obviously fuel is a big thing around here as well because it is a power track. As he comes across the line, onto the 21st lap now. KB looks to be very conservative through turns 1 and 2. Skeevan can now see the back of the Haas. He's got to get about 16 seconds minimum in front to actually win this race, presuming KB doesn't pick up any time penalties. KLC makes the move on Raikkonen, holds it round the outside. Oh, and Raikkonen nearly hits the wall. What happened there? Was that a lag spike or?
Well, he just lost the back end and then tried to correct it and he almost hit the wall.
Fit into the pits then, onto a fresh set of ultra soft tyres. They will do him to the end of the race comfortably. And he was in the pause menu, which is why he didn't go straight away. So that's going to cost him a second or two. Francis Jessica comes across the line into P5. It's still not enough though to get him into the promotion spots. Keegan comes across the line. He is going to jump Fear as well. Yep. So he's got to do it all over again. Fear's got to get back past Keegan. Everyone behind pretty much set in stone where they're finishing. The gaps are so huge. We've got to fight a minimum of almost 6 seconds between each of them.
Yeah. And the top two have a 30-second lead over KLC.
KB looking a bit more aggressive now as he comes out the last corner. Maybe he's struggling for pace a little bit.
Yeah.
Very smooth.
But then again, they could be looking up, like I said earlier, they could be looking after their tyres and stuff. I wouldn't really worry much, but it is starting to decrease. It's only now 1.4 seconds.
Yep, he was 1.5 couple of laps ago, so he's struggling to get closer now. KLC, half a minute behind these guys. Surely third place is in the bag now, barring any crashes up the front. As he sets another fast lap, 23.8. That's a fairly quick time, to be fair.
Yeah, seems looking good for him. Didn't choose ultra softs because I don't know why.
Francis Jessica is coming in for his second and final stop. Nice and late on the brakes into the pits. So this is going to set him back to around 8th place. I would say maybe 9th. Onto a set of ultras as predicted. Veer up into P6. Gap has gone back up again to 1.9, so he's made a mistake there, Skeeven, possibly. Prototype Steph also in the pits.
We're trying to Jessica now. Can he be able to get a 13-second gap and get into 5th place? That's basically all he can do now. As Fear and Keegan are fighting.
He's got to pray that either KB or Skeeven or KLC have an incident, because Francis Jessica won't be promoted as it stands. As Skeeven gets another 3-second time penalty. So, I mean, he's almost a minute behind, so maybe, maybe out of the question. But he's got to keep pushing and just pray that one of these guys have an incident in front of him. Either, well, KB, I don't think he can jump. No, he can jump KB, so if KB DNF'd, he would be able to jump him. But a pit stop, if he had to just change a wing, for example, would only set him back into 3rd, worst case scenario, 5th or 4th. Fit all over the back of the Renault of Keegan.
Yep, got the RS now. Going into turn 1. Will he make a move here, or will he go for turn 3?
Right, so turn 3 looks like it's going to be a little bit... He lost quite a lot of time there going through turn 1, actually. He's gained it back on the exit. Keegan didn't have the best of exits himself. Is Keegan going on the brakes with that broken front wing? Just about gets around. Twitching all over the place. They're glued to the rear end of that Renault right now. Flash through turn 5. Wide apex from Fear. Prototype Steph as well, challenging Bendel for P9. And there he goes. Through goes Prototype Steph. Very easy on his teammate. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. And it's obviously not the front runners because they're well ahead.
Lux. That's why I just spun. And coming up to the last corner.
Oh yeah, he's into the pits. He's currently in last place. He's about to be lapped as well, actually. So very slow into the pits as well. I say he's about to be lapped. He's quite away from being lapped. So we see him there.
That being said, Francis Jessica had just caught 5 seconds on Fear in 2 laps.
Wow. And so, there's some doing. He's on that fresh ultra soft tyres, and obviously Fear has just got past Keegan, by the way, with the DRS in action, and he's gone too deep into turn 1. Keegan hits the back of him, and this could be a bit of a bloodbath now of Keegan has been agitated by that as he's going to dive up the inside. Fear tries to defend.
Oh,
He's spun by the Renault, who then gets tagged as well. Fear's spinning. And it's just not gone well for him. He's going to lose the position to Francis Jessica. Is there any front wing damage on that Mercedes? I don't think there is. Oh, and he's lost it again, and he's in the wall. And as they say that, front wing damage is caused. You've got to be so careful when there's dirt on your tyres. As you just said, yeah. And Francis
Jessica. That was a bit naughty from Keegan.
He dived up the inside, pushed him round. It was going all so well. It was in P4, P3 at one point.
Fear wouldn't be happy about that. And obviously it was a bit of a messy incident and it shouldn't have been happening.
Stewart inquiry, I would expect, as Lux retired from the session, so there's now only 11 runners. We've lost 6 so far. We've just watched Stephen creep towards that sub-second marker, which he's craving so badly. Fear all over the place. He comes through the fast chicane in the middle, in the last sector. Sorry.
As Francis Jessica now has a crack at Keegan. Yeah.
What, the inside was aggressive from Keegan with the weaving, but he's through with ease on the Renault. And it's now P5 for Francis Jessica. He is only 39 seconds away from promotion. So he's got quite a way to go.
Yeah.
KLC hasn't particularly caught. Oh, and Skeven has caught massively on KB coming over the start-finish straight. It was just under a second just after I switched back, and now it's advantage Skeven. Of course, he's got time penalty, so it's not really going to help him in that sense. Fear into the pits then. Dropped all the way down to the back as well.
It's a shame for Fear. He could have got a handy P6 even.
Yeah, it would have helped him going into the second half of the season as well.
At the moment, Cow is in P7. Had a quiet race and shown good pace. Up to P7. Keegan P6.
3.5 laps remaining. And it looks like promotion is all set in stone with KB leading with Stevens' time penalties and KLC with a 30+ second gap to his closest rival in the standings. As Lux has left the session after retiring a couple of laps ago. That's going to be interesting because obviously we've said how difficult it is to overtake around here. Now we've got two of the quickest drivers, obviously P1 and 2. Can Skeven put a move on KB for the lead? Or is it a case of it's just too close, too tight? It's going to have to just sit behind him for the last 3 laps.
You have to find out. Style gap's 3/10 in DRS, and it was really close between these two. It's the closest it's been all race.
Yep, KB flew away at the start. And it's been pretty much set in stone since then, but Skeven has decreased that 5-second gap to just under half a second. So these guys flying around at the moment. Fear just in front of these guys. Actually, it might be Cal, I'm not too sure. Yeah, so it is. So not so happy Cal. They're coming up to lap. Maybe on fire at the moment.
At the moment, it's looking like 3 pole positions, 3 wins.
Yep. With ease as well, unless Skeven takes him out, because Skeven has a number of time penalties. And as I say that, picks up another 3 seconds as he comes through the fast chicane. So poor Skeven will just hang on to P2 at this rate, because he's got 10 seconds plus whatever he's got, which I think is around 12 seconds. So he's got about a 7-second buffer at the moment to KLC's. He just had a little bit of a moment coming through turn 14.
Yep, KB has 1 warning tyre race.
2 laps to go then.
Cal gets past and gets lapped by the 2 leaders.
And gets a 3-second time penalty as well. I honestly don't think Skeven has it in the tank. I don't think he's got the fuel, I don't think he's got the tyres to get past KB, who, let's be honest, isn't the quickest. We've seen Jakey catch him, we've seen Skeven catch him today.
but then he does do good laps to get him up into the field. So
Yep, his
I personally
qualifying is immense. We can't doubt that. That's for sure. So F2 promotion spots.
So it's looking like KB, Skeven, KLC, Jakey, and one more person. Am I forgetting? Ollie.
Well,
Ollie.
yeah, Ollie, of
How can we forget
course.
Ollie?
How can we forget Ollie? He crashed out that one. He's been so irrelevant in this race.
Yeah.
But currently, it will be our promotions, as you just said. Ollie, Jakey, Skeven, KB, and KLC will all be promoted at the end of this race. Skeven just dropping back a little bit now. We've got a huge gap to third, a huge gap to fourth, and a huge gap to fifth as well. And everyone is very spaced out, so there's not really much to talk about apart from these two guys who are going around at the moment in the lead of the race. Fear, unfortunately, had a great start. He was up into fourth place going round. He opted for the two-stop, which in the end just didn't go well for him. And he ended up way down the field. And he's now currently P11 on those super softs.
He's getting Tezza, so if he can be able to catch a Tezza, he'd probably get a P10, I guess, as consolation, but he would have to feel that he'll be a bit robbed. Might go to Stewards after that incident with Keegan. Francis Jessica did a valiant effort to get from last, effectively.
Just as I said, sorry, just to interrupt you, just as I said Skeven was dropping off, he is all over the back of the Haas now on the last lap. And I'm sure he want to finish in front on track, but KB gets a 3-second time penalty, so he's feeling the pressure now from the Ferrari. It's not going to affect the result anyway, as they take a very defensive line into turn 13. And it's going to be a close call.
I think he's celebrating.
A little bit premature, as we saw in Canada as well. But
yeah.
I think it's just going to be enough. KLC will get promoted. KB is going to take the win here in Australia as Skeven just about finishes there. 10 seconds in the end of time penalty. Sorry, 12 seconds of time penalties for him. 3 for KB, which means Skeven is a very solid second place. He's going to get 10 seconds added onto that time, which I don't think will see him lose the position to KLC, who will also get a promotion spot. We're just waiting for him to come over the line. Raikkonen in P4, solid result from him. Francis Jessica had a horrible start, and as we see the laps cars just finishing now. So Keegan
did everything he could.
Yeah, he's done magnificently well, we can't deny that. He's given it his all. He's tried to alternate his strategy. And unfortunately for him, it's just not quite enough. He had a 20-point gap to make up to Jakey Boy before the beginning of this race, and he's only done half that. So unfortunately for him, he will be staying F3 for the second half of the season. As he comes across the line now in a very, very competitive P5, as we watch Keegan and his very interesting sounding car. And there we go. Just wait to get the final classification, and there we have it. KB gets the win, a 1:25.0, his fastest lap, one stop all the way, with him and Skeven well out in front of these guys. KLC tried the two-stop but didn't quite work out. He gets third place in the end. Raikkonen fourth, a brilliant one-stop strategy from down in P10. P5, Francis Jessica had an awful first lap, found himself down at the back but recovered back to where he started. Keegan in the Renault up into P6 from P13, a good race for him. Not so happy cow up into 7th from 8th position. Proto, Steph, Keegan and Bendel, the only three not to get time pens, so well done to them. Fear had it all in the bag, it looked like, as he started down in P9, got up to P4 in the first lap, and then it all came tumbling back down again. Finished in the points eventually, with Tezza, our last finisher there. So as you can see, we had 17 drivers today, but unfortunately only 11 managed to actually finish. So that is a very unfortunate for them. But it's all about the promotion spots, and we won't see our drivers that have got those promotion spots next week because they'll be in F2. So if you're following those drivers, be sure to tune into the F2 stream. So your promotions from F3 to F2, just to confirm, are Ollie Flavel on 91 points, taking home the top spot in those. We've got in second place KB Killerzone on 75 points, getting himself second place. We've got Skeven, who even with that 10-second time penalty won't affect him. So an 18 points for him will put him on to 68 and third. Jakey will stay fourth on 60. Just about, and KLC with that last promotion spot with 57 points. Francis Jessica just missing out on 50, so just 7 points behind KLC in the end, but it just wasn't quite enough. So it was a very enthralling race, a little bit boring towards the end of the race, but we can't ask for everything, I suppose. There was a little bit of rain hinted at the beginning, but it didn't come in the end, so unfortunately for us that made it a little bit less entertaining, but a good race, I would say, and definitely watch out for these drivers coming into F3 for next weekend, because there will be some brought in from the waiting list, so look out for them as well. New drivers next week, because we are currently 4, 5, 6 drivers down after today's promotion, so tune in next week to see those guys. And of course our next race is in Mexico, so another corner cutty track, that's for sure. So thank you, Dougie, for joining us again today. We'll see you next week at 6 PM normal as usual. Bye bye.